Hi, Scorpio. All right, so getting started on these cards. Your energy this month, or what the universe and spirit are asking you to portray in this month, is that of the King of Air. Now, I don't think that Scorpio is all that unfamiliar with this energy, because in the long run, Scorpio's okay with the idea of detachment, because Scorpio has that energy of regeneration and rebirth, and it has the determination to survive and rebuild. And in that comes the emotional intelligence to detach to situations that no longer serve us or that no longer keep us safe. But I pick up on this King of Air in particular is the idea of the wisdom, and the idea that you reach a certain point in life where you just start to know better. And the King of Air is kind of like this no nonsense kind of place. Like, there's no bullshit. There's no bullshitting the King of Air. And I pick up on all of this confidence, but it doesn't come from like a really egoic place. It's almost like the epiphany, and then the epiphany grows into almost like a lifestyle. Like this idea that gets planted, it starts to take form in your mind, and it starts to kind of master what the mind can actually do, because the kings are a point of mastery, and air represents our mind and our thought processes. For a lot of us, we get stuck in, those old thought patterns. The I'm not enough, or I don't come from a place that's good enough, or, these kinds of things don't happen to me or my lineage, because we're talking about Saturn 4th house retrograde. We're talking about our childhood and how we're able to kind of grow past those experiences. And the King of Air isn't somebody who uses those experiences as an excuse. You could get away with that in your younger years, but then you reach a certain level where it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter like the mistakes that happened when you were younger. It doesn't matter like how you were raised or your wounds. It's just time to move forward. And your environment, what you're moving towards, is that card of love, card number 6, the Lovers in Rider White. But this card is always so different to me, and this environment is always so different to me than in any other card, because here we have the sign of a trine, we have the sign of the North Node, and of course this is a card of Gemini, and we've got this Gemini solar eclipse. You've got Jupiter in your 5th house, which is a real heart space, and then all of this Mercury retrograde, solar eclipse energy in the 8th, and that's all about like really melding with another person. So this is kind of like heart and intimacy and like all of the things, and I love the way that there's this lion wrapped around her, and I think that this could be another person, which could mean that Scorpio's finding that place of safety, a place at the very least of being centered, of being protected. There's warmth and there's safety, obviously. There's no fear of the lion. And I look at this King of Air, and there's no fear with a King of Air. And you look at this card, and what I see is the embrace. And I'm wondering if Scorpio isn't finding themselves in some sort of an embrace point this month. Now, for some of you, it can be in the physical plane. But for a lot of you, I think this is an internal process. And I think this is something that you have to go through in order to find yourself here. Like, you have to find yourself here first before you find like your actual lion. Because that's how the universe works. It's a card of the universe. It's divine intervention. It's unconditional love. It's Gemini, and it's about balance. And I do see balance coming up in your reading, like the give and the take, the ability to share, the ability to give and receive. And with, of course, with the eclipses in your 2nd and 8th house, it's all about like the give and the take. And probably both sides of your personality or within a relationship, understanding like the dynamics. You come over here to this 9-card block, and of course we start off right here with the 7 of Wands, which is like all about the overcoming. But, you know, it's a 7, so it means adjustments need to be made. And because you're the king of air, and because you have sort of like this airy view, like on a mountain far away, able to kind of see the bigger picture. So you're able to see what adjustments need to be made, which means you're able to understand that there are, and there will be in eclipse season, certain karmic cycles that come to an end. The World card means lessons have been learned. And again, I'm just brought to this figure, which is kind of in this womb, like this embrace. And there's another kind of example of being supported in this process. My King of Pentacles is always like a double-edged sword. And because we have Saturn square Uranus and the King of Pentacles, Capricorn energy ruled by Saturn, and then we have over here like this Libra, this softness. We have Queen of Cups, which is the water. And that's a softening, Scorpio, that will be kind of occurring, and probably in small doses for sure. Like we have 3 solid Saturn Uranus squares, this one being the 2nd one, another one in December. So it is a process. The changes are a process, and King of Pentacles will, with this adjustment card, show you the blockages. Show you where you get stalled, show you where you could get, you could procrastinate, or you could get a little stuck in your ways. And there's also kind of a level of like coldness that I pick up here. Saturn. And like, here's the fire to be like, enough of this, enough of worrying so much about the money and the security. Because boom, Jupiter comes into the 5th, and you're like, yeah, but I want what feels good. I want the good stuff. I want the love. I want the easiness. Maybe for some of you, you begin to realize you want children. You want that family. But the thing that has to be adjusted is the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups energy. So adjustments on the feminine side of your personality. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles, she's like the perfect partner, right? Like this is representing like our ability to kind of nurture and provide and create the perfect environment, probably for our loved ones. a lot of pressure to provide with the Queen of Cups, but she doesn't provide like the King does. She provides in a more profound, strategic manner, which does kind of have to encounter a little bit of realism, and there's not a lot of room to get lost in like the romantic side of life. There's responsibilities. And the Queen of Cups is like that need to connect emotionally. And for some of you, there might be the idea that you have to choose between these two, right? Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. Like the more strategic, the more responsible stuff that you have to do. You know, this could be the difference of like wishing you could stay home with your children in the summer and enjoy, you know, family fun experiences. And the Queen of Pentacles is like, yeah, but I have to work, I have to make the money, we have to pay the bills, we have to get back to reality kind of thing. You know, Queen of Pentacles mom is making sure that like everybody has a nutritional meal and schedules are all perfect. And there is a little bit of a energy of like perfectionism coming from the Queen of Pentacles. Everything has to be surface level perfect. And the Queen of Cups mom, she's just kind of more whimsical. She probably forgets appointments or loses the baseball schedules or forgets about like all the responsibilities. And then this month is about finding the balance. Or at the very least, believing that it can and will exist. Because the Empress, center of your card, she's kind of sandwiched in between the World, the Saturn card, and the Nine of Swords, which we know is just an illusion. The Nine of Swords is actually like this funny energy to me sometimes, like that thing that we get into right before the big thing happens. Like you could feel this energy building, and it's like an energy of wanting to break away or overcome or just like get out of this barrier. Because there's probably parts of you that feels like your emotional self, your spiritual self does not have room to live with all of this Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles energy. King of Pentacles is kind of like all the things that society says you should do. It's kind of all of those things that like, you know, what you should do at this age or at this point in your life or at this point of this relationship or this point of your career. Like what's a responsible thing to do? And I don't know, I'm just picking up like this Empress and this Queen of Cups, and they're like, yeah, but like what about your heart? What about your family? What about your home? What about nurturing that side of you as well, your creativity? I mean, and because the Empress is sandwiched here between the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles in reverse, it tells me that you're afraid to even just try it. Which tells me there may be an issue with believing that you deserve it. There's all of this fire inside of you, Scorpio, like you're ready. And then when you step out into the outer world, it's almost as if you wonder if people can see your fear, your hesitation, your unwillingness to plant the seeds. Which means there's a hesitation on the investment. Here we have this King of Pentacles, and this is definitely like your outside persona. Like how you want other people to see you. These are like the highest expectations of self. And then we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse, and this is like that inner voice in your head that's like, they're going to laugh at you. They're not going to believe in you. They're not going to want to invest in you. And so here's the dichotomy, because there's underneath this Empress, which is fully deserving and completely capable of attracting anything and everything that she wants to her. And you have to be careful with expecting immediate results. You know, like sometimes some people could start to get into like the more spiritual stuff, and you watch a couple of videos, you know, like if you're watching like manifesting videos or whatever, and you start to practice them for a week, and you do your affirmations and you're doing a great job, and then all of a sudden you're like, this isn't working. Because of course we're going to want like some immediate results, something that says it's okay to be in this mode. But ultimately, it's the balance. It's the balance that you're trying to obtain. And I love how we go from like the Seven of Wands, the Empress, and the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is really like the pre-Empress, which tells me that this month can be a little bit of a like one step forward, two steps back kind of energy. You think you're getting somewhere, you think you're making this progress, and then you lose it, and then it comes back and you build more progress. But I think it's in the form of like getting your footing, because too much at one time would definitely get you stuck in this Nine of Swords, which is really going to stop the progress. And in order to not stop the progress, you have to be able to believe in yourself, to believe that you can do these things, you can achieve these things, that you're stable enough. And it's not like about the stable that other people see you as. It's a stable in your soul, the things that you want, because it's about the investing in self, because we're adding this Queen of Cups energy to it. This is like your physical reality and your soul reality coming together, and you have to be in this creative mode to integrate both, integration and ascension. It has to happen kind of all at one time. The Magician, mutable energy, Mercury retrograde. Underneath the King of Air, we have this believe in the impossible, blue moon. And the King of Air could definitely be like the king that believes, like philosophy and manifestation. Here, the Magician, we have the card of manifestation. And the Empress manifests whatever it is she desires because she knows that she's worthy. And the Nine of Pentacles certainly doesn't fall back and say, oh, he's probably, you know, there's no codependency here. There's no waiting for others to say you deserve it. And that's the freedom. That's the freedom that happens when you have like these moments of radical self-acceptance and self-love. Queen of Cups is always a healing, self-nurturing, understanding your emotions, which she comes with like all this compassion and forgiveness for the things that have ended, the karmic cycles that have ended. And they ended because you made those adjustments in your beliefs. And we got two cards here underneath the Lover's card. Creative blocks. If you are an artist of any kind, you can offer all work to the divine, making it God's alone. And I offer this for the highest good to benefit the planet. Release me from any blocks and restrictions. May this serve all who need. And I mean, that I guess could be portrayed a little bit more specific because it like says it only applies if you're an artist. But the idea here is that we're all an artist because we're all creating our existence. We're all creating our reality. In that sense, if you put yourself in a place where you say, I want this kind of love, I want this kind of home, because this is about coming home to self. In the last 20 years were probably all the reasons why you felt like you didn't deserve it. And then, bam, you step into the new beliefs and then you create. But you create from a place that it's greater good of all. And suddenly there's nothing wrong with you asking the universe to remove the restrictions so that you could spend time with your children or fall in love with that perfect partner or do those creative projects full time and be able to make ends meet. That you can have both the emotional fulfillment and the financial stability. Because if you don't believe in it, you're not even going to try. That's like those times where somebody says, hey, did you ever try this, so-and-so? Did you ever read this book? And, those opportunities are not a coincidence. That's the universe showing you the new ways. It's the universe kind of breadcrumbing you one by one by one until you have all the pentacles. And you have to remove the creative blocks or the ideas that you don't deserve those things, because if you had those things, it would be for the greater good of everybody else. Like everybody would be happy, Scorpio, if you were happy. If you were in love, if you were supported, if you were abundant, other people in your life would benefit from you. And then we have the card of self-sufficiency. The ultimate self-sufficiency is relying on God. It doesn't mean hiding in a cave and saying, I don't need people. Instead, it's saying, God is my source and I am willing to receive all the help, love, and support that wants to come. And that's what happens when you stop being stubborn. You start trying the things. Start listening to the suggestions. Start allowing the healing. Maybe there's some things where you're like, oh my God, no, that's so cheesy. But then if you give it a chance, it could really change your life. And when we're in this ascension and integration process, if you can change your life, if you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. And then we have this card here next to this Nine of Pentacles, which says lost compass, getting back to integrity. 35, breaking down to an 8, which is a solar eclipse in your 8th house. Right next to this Nine of Cups, which is all about that inner stability. The knowing that it doesn't matter what other people do or what they think or what they say, that you have all that it takes. Somewhere along the line, you lost your ability to believe in self. You lost your integrity. Because you felt like you had to wear so many different hats for so many different people. Because you thought that's just how the universe worked. Keep your head down, work, do the things, retire and die, right? The universe, like this also looks a little like the Wheel of Fortune, which is like the universe setting the wheel in motion. Scorpio, you're not unfamiliar with the ups and downs of life. But I see Scorpio wanting to get to the center, wanting to get into the embrace and into the safety. You don't have to be in such a tumultuous place anymore. You could just be you. You could just be happy. Feeling like you're doing the things that you're meant to do. Getting back to integrity means getting back to like the right people. The people that bring out this Empress quality within you. Which means that the people that don't make you feel good about yourself, the people that make you feel just kind of used or taken for granted, that those aren't your people. Scorpio, step by step, is going to make it back to their soulmates, their soul tribe, their soul life, their soul purpose. And here we have card number 60, breaking down to a 6 again. 6. Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive. And that's what I mean about the 2nd, 4th house, 8th house placements. These are water placements. Well, the 2nd isn't water, but I do find that it reflects your emotional self more than any other house. And yeah, it's about getting honest. It's about dealing with any self-indulgence. It's about the balance. But I just get a sense that it's also of deep emotional importance to make these changes and to make them now. And to submerge yourself, allow yourself to be submerged or embraced by life, by your true support systems, and by yourself. And there's nothing here that tells me that you have to like play it safe, Scorpio. There's no cards here that talk to me about you having to be, more grounded or realistic. I mean, clearly all these pentacles, you're very grounded and realistic, and what the universe wants you to bring in is the love and the compassion and the creativity and the belief. And I love how once we integrate all those parts of self, the Magician card is here representing having all the tools. So suddenly you have the resources, you have the creativity, you have the love and the fulfillment. Really, the only fear that could possibly come from this is a fear of the things that will fall away when you get here. The things that won't work at this vibration. But those were the blocks in the first place. All right, Scorpio. Really beautiful reading this month. These are all really beautiful, powerful readings. I'm so grateful that I get to talk you through this. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful June. I'll be back mid-month in some capacity. We'll see. But until then, I'm wishing you the very best of luck. I love you so much. Take care, guys. Bye.